Hi you guys, thank you for tuning into my channel. Today I'm bringing you another holiday inspired look. I'm not sure what I'm going to call it just yet. I came across this nice pigment here. This is called Old Gold and it's basically like a green. It has some yellow flecks of color in it, and depending on what other eyeshadows you pair with this, it can kind of pull out those colors and intensify it a little bit more. And it's a lot of pop on the eye, but the lip is like nice and subtle. Not so much neutral, but you could definitely pair a neutral lip with this eye makeup as well. You could even go for something even bolder, I would say. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this tutorial. So if you're interested in seeing how I got this holiday inspired look, then just stay tuned.
Okay guys, so starting out as I always do, I'm going to be taking my Urban Decay primer potion and applying that to my lids just to make sure that my eyeshadow will last all day long. Then going to my Morphe 350 palette, I'm taking this nice neutral color and applying that all over the lid just to set that primer potion so that eyeshadows don't streak. Then I'm following up by using a small piece of tape and putting that on the outer corner of my eye just to make cleanup a breeze, and then going back into the Morphe 350 palette, I'm going to be taking that reddish brown tone that I always use as my transition color when I'm doing a warmer look, and I'm applying that a little bit above the crease area as opposed to directly in the crease because I kind of want it to show through a little bit when I apply the rest of the shadows. And then going into my Naked palette, I'm not sure if this is the Naked 2 or 3, but I'm going to be using that color, which is called Tease. It's kind of like a purplish gray color, and I'm applying that directly into my crease area, which is a little bit below the first shade that I put down, and then also blending it out on the lid as well. Then I'm going in with this shade by ColourPop, which is called Central Perk. It's a nice deep purple color, burgundy, whatever you want to call it. And I'm applying that also into the crease area, but a little bit below it. So I'm just like stacking colors on top of each other. And right now I'm just packing it on because I always tend to use this same brush, which kind of makes the shadow hard to apply. But as you're going to see in the next clip, I'm going to follow up by blending it in and blending it out so the colors just mesh really well together. Okay, now going back into the Naked palette, I'm using this shade called Busted. I can't even describe to you the color of it, but it's just a really deep color because I want to smoke this look out a bit. So I'm applying that directly into the crease and also focusing it mostly on the outer corner of my eye as well, and just building that intensity up. You want to slowly pack on the color and then also go back in and blend it out like I'm doing here, just to your liking. Now on to the star of this show. As I always say, I'm going to be using this MAC pigment called Old Gold and just spraying my brush with a little bit of Fix Plus spray just so it doesn't transfer too much. And I'm just applying that to basically like 2/3 of my lid, I'd say, and focusing it on there, trying to make it as pigmented as possible and for it to really show up. So I'm doing this very slowly with a nice small shader brush, and then I'm going to be taking a brush that's also small, but this is going to be a dry one, and then applying some dry pigment on top just to make sure that it doesn't transfer too much with my hooded eyelids. Then next I'm going to just blend the two colors together, that purple as well as the pigment, just so it'll be a nice transition. And then I wanted it to be a little bit smokier, so I went back into the Naked palette and used the color Busted. And here, once I did the blending and all of that, I needed to put just a little bit more pigment on for it to show up better. Then going back into the Naked palette, I'm taking the black color that's in there and really focusing it with this precision brush right on the outer corner of my eye and then blending it in because I don't want this to be too smoky or too dark. And then now I'm going to be using 2 lashes just because I could not find a lash in my stash that was... that rhymes, a lash in my stash. But I couldn't find a lash in my stash that was as intense or dramatic as I wanted it to be. So both of these are by Ardel, and I'm just stacking them on top of each other. I believe I put the 118s down first and then put the Demi Wispy on top of that. So you want to be just really careful when doing this. It may even be easier to stack them on top of each other before you put them onto your lid. And now I'm going to use a little bit of my L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara to blend my lashes with the falsies. And then after that, we're just going to take the tape off, and that's it for the eyes. Moving on to the face, I'm going to be taking a cleansing wipe and just wiping out all of that eyeshadow fallout that's underneath my eyes. And then going in with my Step 1 primer by Makeup Forever. I believe this is the hydrating one. I'm just going to apply that all over my face because I have been experiencing dry skin. And then I'm going to follow up with my Josie Maran Argan Enlightenment Illuminizer and putting that all over just so my foundation will have that nice glow underneath it. Now I'm going in with my LA Pro Concealer, which is in the shade Fawn, and doing a little bit of color correcting for some of these dark marks that are on my face before I start with my foundations. Today I'm going to be using the Nars All Day Luminous as well as the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundations. I just love the blending of the two of these. It gives me such a great finish, and I'm just applying that all over with my Beauty Blender. Then going in for these bags that I'm carrying around, as always, I'm going to be using my Naked Skin Concealer. I believe this is in medium dark warm, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm just putting that all over my face just to highlight, and then also just to brighten up the areas that where I have the areas where I have hyperpigmentation around my mouth. And now I'm going to be going in with my Airspun loose face powder and applying that over wherever I've concealed. I'm going to heavily apply it underneath my eyes because I do have creasing there a lot, and then also putting it on my forehead, my nose, and my chin, and then going in and lightly dusting all of that away with this nice soft Real Techniques brush. Then I'm going to be doing a little bit of chiseling of my jawline by using that same powder and just putting it underneath my cheekbones just to make them pop before I follow up with my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour palette. And I use a combination of the 3 shades on the very bottom just to, you know, bring that warmth back into my skin that the foundation took out, because we don't want a flat looking face. And then going in with my Berry Shimmer blush by Wet n Wild, I'm just going to be lightly dusting that onto my cheeks just to give me a little bit of color, and then blending that all together with this huge Real Techniques brush. And then going back to the eyes, now we're going to be using that reddish brown tone that I used in the crease, which was my transition color, and applying that, and then following up with the Busted color from the Naked palette. And then to finish up the eyes, I'm going to be using the Pigment Old Gold just right in the center on my lower lash line. Then I'm going in with this Liquid pencil. I can't remember who it's by, but I'm just going to line my waterline with this and then follow up by blending that out a little bit to make it just a tad bit smokier. And then lastly, I'm going to be applying my L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara to my bottom lashes, and then on to the fun part, my favorite part, which is highlighting. I cannot remember which one I use. I think I use my Becca Champagne Pop, as I always do, but of course everything is listed in the description box. And now to the lips, I'm using my Chestnut Lip Liner by MAC, and then my favorite matte lipstick by ColourPop, which is Tulle. This is hands down the best color that goes so well with my skin tone. And then lastly, I'm just going to set all of that with MAC Fix Plus Spray. And here is the final look. I really enjoyed doing this look for you guys because I feel like it's something really, really great for the holiday season. I love the lips with it. I love the eyes, like the drama of them. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Happy holidays, and I'll see you guys later.